Moving right along to our first element in this part of our session, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to bring you a case study from Tanzania. And of course, we are spotlighting this as a national success story. Co-founder of Serengeti Angels will now share how Tanzania has built a thriving network of angel investors. Please allow me to invite to the podium Mr. Francis Omorojie.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm sure most of you be wondering, Omorojie, Francis, in Tanzania, right? Yeah, so I'm Francis Omorojie. I'm Nigerian, actually. But I've lived in Tanzania for like 11 years, so I am like Tanzanian. I think I want to also say a very special thank you to Fadila and the ABAN team for inviting me. And for me, it's a special moment because I get an opportunity to visit Nigeria again after 4 years. So the immigration was asking me if Nigeria offended me. I'm like, no. Yeah, so now we have a direct flight from Tanzania to Nigeria now. I'll be here every other quarter. So, yeah. So I will introduce myself, then I'll be able to also talk about a little bit about our case study in terms of how we are building and scaling angel investing in Tanzania. I am the managing partner for Ennovate Ventures and also a co-founder for Serengeti Angels. At Ennovate Ventures, we have a micro fund where we're investing up to 50,000. At a very early stage, we are always the first partner. We call ourselves growth partners for underrepresented companies, founders. We also manage BMZ fund, which is investing up to 100,000 euros per company. We've invested in 25 companies in Tanzania, and currently also managing FMO Pilot Fund, a facility which is investing up to $500,000 in early stage companies in Tanzania. So at the back of that, I also double as a co-founder of Serengeti Business Angels Network, which is investing also in the very early stage. We want to be able to build a network that is not only investing money, but also investing resources, skills to be able to support these early stage companies to scale. And one thing that I kind of noted during Mr. Kelly's presentation is that he started his business 35 years ago. That was the year I was born. So, so I'm really privileged to be here. And also, I really kind of resonated with most of the things he talked about, which I also kind of, during my presentation, I'll talk about how we are really addressing these things, especially when it comes to like angel investors not investing, how we're trying to tackle that. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Next slide. Yeah, so basically we started the Serengeti, we call it ABAN, Serengeti Angel Network, because of two things. One is, in Tanzania, maybe 4, 5, 6 years ago, there was very low inflow of capital coming to the ecosystem. Reason being that first, there is less visibility of what the companies are doing locally, and also most of the companies are not really very investable. So you see VCs coming to do this sourcing, spend a couple of thousands of dollars, there's no actual deal happening, and this really kind of frustrates them, they don't want to come in. So most of the time, everyone wants to go to Kenya, and of course, we know how the market is. So we saw this and felt like, we want to really start changing our own narratives. We want to start using what we have to build ecosystem that will be very attractive and attract, bring in those investors that we need. So that was the backbone of why we started Serengeti Angel Network. And for us, it's not just only just about the capital. It's also about, how do we harness, use these corporates, these executives. Like he mentioned, most of the angel investors are mid-career or professionals. How do we really use them to really bridge the gap and provide the resources, talents, and partnerships that will really kind of help these early stage companies accelerate, gain those tractions that these VCs are looking for, and get those VCs into the ecosystem. So we also, last year, we also did a survey. We also kind of understood that there's about $1 billion funding gap in Tanzania early stage. And we kind of also working with other ecosystem players, partners like Ennovate Ventures. We are also looking at how do we really bridge this gap locally. Next. Yeah, so how we are building our network, we started from friends because we wanted to move fast. We wanted to make sure that we started having those tractions. We started as talking to friends. It's easier for friends to kind of trust you, so we call it more like a social trust, to say, you have some money, you have the experience, why don't you start doing something like this? So we quickly mobilized capital. We did our first investment. Then with that, we're actually trying to show the ecosystem, show people that this really works. It's something that, they can come in and be able to support early-stage companies. Everything that Khalid mentioned was the same thing. One is like to make money, second is to do good, and also to learn. So most of the angel investors we are attracting to our network are there. They want to be able to learn. They want to deepen their experience in the specific sector or in industry, as case may be. But at the same time, they feel like they have the resources to really support these founders to build incredible businesses. So we started with the social trust, and quickly we learned that, even if they're appetite to invest, people get excited. They have very little knowledge about angel investing. People potentially say, I want to give you $50,000 for 40% of your company. And how Khalid has mentioned, people just want to give money and go and sleep. So it doesn't really work like that. And that's why we started with now what we call Tanzania Angel Accelerator. So with Accelerator, we're not only just training, but it's purely capital commitment-based program. So that means we understood that the first check is always the biggest challenge. People don't want to actually, they develop a cold fit to invest. So for you to come into our program, you need to commit money first. And that makes them to really go through the journey and invest that money through that program. And we've done the second cohort of program. We've seen these angel investors doing now up to 3 to 4 deals straight. So because we've killed that cold fit from the beginning. So we don't just do the trainings. We actually tell them, for you to come into the program, you need to commit money. And that's how we are changing that idea of having dormant angel investors. So we actually get them to invest from the program, and they build their confidence to invest. Currently now we have a lot of inbound people wanting to be angel investors, and we are already now focused on converting them. Nestle? Yes, so we also have built out a platform which is called Harambe, where we are bringing the ecosystem, larger ecosystem, to kind of understand the angel investment scene. We've seen corporates feeling, especially when it comes to fintech, corporates feeling that, banks are feeling that fintechs are competitors and all of those kind of things because they don't understand the dynamics. We are trying to use Harambe as a casual platform where corporates can start understanding how startups works. Even people that are interested in angel investing can connect with our commitment. And we've seen a very big traction with the program. So people really look at Harambe to kind of connect with emerging companies. Corporates come to ask questions. And we're using that kind of build also what I spoke to Fadila about when we were in New York a few weeks ago. CVCs, how to start looking at corporate acquisitions. And those kind of platforms is where we start having those conversations to kind of start looking at those local acquisitions, secondaries happen, and that can provide liquidity for angel investors to continue to invest. So far, we've done, we're just about 3 years old. We've done about 7 deals. We also are very strong with partnership. People that really kind of boost us. I'm very happy that we'll be launching the Catalytic Africa 2.0. We are a beneficiary of that, so we believe a lot in collaboration. I think our second deal was facilitated by Ennovate Ventures, where we followed on to invest with Ennovate Ventures. So that is our core in our DNA is all about building collaborations, and that can also strengthen our pipeline, strengthen the quality of companies that we invest in. So just to give you more like a handful of companies we've invested in Borderless. Joe Kimvey sits on ABAN board. So he's my very good friend, and we believe a lot of what he's building because we as angel investors are also moving to his platform to continue to do investment. We also invested in Gala and other companies that are really scaling in Tanzania. Next. Yeah, so for us, we are also kind of taking it, last slide. So we are also kind of looking at what is next for us. How do we also, start focusing on liquidity for our angels so that they can get money to put back. One of the things is kind of, start identifying trends. So that's why we want to also start investing in VC funds. So we're already talking to some VCs and want to kind of invest in them so that can help us understand the trends, that can help us understand what the VCs are looking for, and that can really define our pipeline, where we are going to invest to be able to build more sustainable or exit-driven portfolio. We're also launching the Angel Fund, which will help us to be able to diversify even our instruments and help our angels to start looking at very early exits. So for us at Serengeti, we are looking a lot more in terms of not just investing, we're looking at sustainability, collaborations, and also finding those liquidities that matter for our angels, and finding those success stories that Khalid was talking about to really show people that we can be able to mobilize capital locally to continue to fund Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Francis. Francis, thank you so much. I know you were under pressure there. Thank you for being such a great sport.